Tomorrow's kind of an exciting night around here. The Nuggets are in the lottery.
Oh.
All right, they've got ping pong balls in the lottery.
I thought there was a party.
And the draft,
somewhere.
and the draft.
I guess there
well,
is a
it is.
party.
Yeah, there is. It's in New York, though. The draft lottery is tomorrow night. The Nuggets, as they sit right now, are slotted at number. I don't know how to exactly to phrase it. They're slotted at number 7, but because of the nature of the ping pong balls in the lottery, they could move up. They could move back. Obviously, if you're a Nuggets fan, you're hoping they move up into 1 through 6, preferably 1 through 3, preferably the number 1 pick overall. Their chances of becoming the number 1 team overall, a little less than 5%. Here's the catch, Woody. They have a terrible, terrible history when it comes to the draft lottery. Are you aware that since the draft's inception in 1991, the Nuggets have never, ever moved up towards the top in the draft? They've either stayed right where they're slotted or they've actually lost ground. In fact, the year Melo was drafted here, 2003, the Nuggets were actually supposed to be drafting number 2 according to their slot, but because of the way the ping pong balls fell, they ended up with the 3rd pick, so they lost a spot. Now, they ended up with Melo because Detroit made the mistake of taking Darko Milicic, but they've had no luck when it comes to this. It's kind of sad. They need to buck that trend tomorrow night.
Well, you took my Friday off, but you're making up for it today. I might as well just sit here the whole program.
I just happen to know the history.
Telling me analytics in regard to the Nuggets' draft history. Once they had the number 1 draft pick and they fell to 4th. When you said move up, I thought you meant trade up. I don't remember them trading up much.
I don't recall that either.
They haven't done that well with their top draft choices anyway.
That's true.
When they've had somebody, Carmelo Anthony worked out well. Dikembe Mutombo was a 4th pick, I think, in the draft.
Something like, yeah, I can't remember exactly.
I remember when they had a number 1 draft pick and they chose Marvin Webster, but they got David Thompson's rights from Carolina, I think it was. I played a game, and all of you can do it on your phone at home. ESPN has a site where they have the draft, and you can click on a button, and it spins like the Powerball tickets do.
Yeah.
And I did it 15 times. And the reason why I stopped at 15 is the Nuggets got the top pick at number 15. And so they then list all the choices based on what they think people would want. It's really interesting. So if you go to ESPN.com.
Who did you take with the number 1 pick?
No, I didn't take it. I just was doing it
Okay.
until you got. I wanted to see how the order fell.
I thought then they then allowed you to make a pick of a player.
No, after maybe they would, but no, they put down the first round players based on that. But I thought it was interesting after I did it 2 or 3 times because I knew they weren't going to get the number 1 pick ever. But depending on who got the number 1 pick changed who the Nuggets might get. Who do you think a team would take with the number 1 pick?
I think Karl Anthony Towns is probably the consensus number 1 pick right now. Although I will say this, the more I watch this kid Moutier, this 6'5" point guard who played in China last year, the more I like him. I really, 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 really like him. Oh, you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You too?
No, I don't want you to tell anybody. People might pay attention to what we say.
Yeah, well,
I've been telling you for
that'd be a first.
How long have I been telling you about him? For
Yeah,
months,
I like him.
Months.
I like him a
if
lot.
you look at his, I did. Joe asked me if I had a great weekend. I was doing the clicking on the stuff. I was also looking at YouTube highlights of the kid from wherever, Latvia, whatever, Herciana.
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of someone they already have.
Gallinari.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
He looks like
who he looked like to me?
Image of
He looked to me like a
Gallinari.
poor man's Dirk Nowitzki.
You know, that's who I thought he looked
Yeah.
like. I wouldn't
Because
say
all
poor-
because
That's
all the
exactly
highlights
who
you're
I
talking
thought
about.
of
What's
it.
his name? Hansia, something like that.
Herzanya?
Herzegovina.
No. Herzanya, something like that.
I don't want them to take him. And here's one of my greatest fears. This regime here, led by Tim Conley, they love the Euros, and they believe they have a leg up on the rest of the league when it comes to the Euros because they do so much scouting over there. And I'm afraid they're going to take yet another Euro, and I don't think that's going to be a good thing if they do that. I just don't.
Are you saying Euro trash? Is that what
I'm
you're
not
saying?
saying Euro trash.
Well,
no, because some of those players are good. I
If
just
you
don't
got-
see any right now that are great.
If you got a Dirk Nowitzki type,
I'd be thrilled with that. But Dirk Nowitzki is possibly the best Euro that's ever played. Yeah, I'll
but
take
you
him
said
all day
it, I
long.
looked at him and I said, he reminds me of
A
Nowitzki.
poor man's Dirk Nowitzki.
Well, I mean,
emphasis on poor.
He's 19 or 20 years old. The thing about it is that he can shoot three-pointers. He is an alley-oop dunker kind of type. He does around-the-back passing. He is a guy who could play shooting guard,
Yeah.
off guard. He can play. He handles the ball well enough. He's like 6'8", 6'7", 6'8". He could be an interesting player. The other European is the guy that's 7 feet tall. I watched YouTube on him.
The one who's skinny as a stick?
Yeah, but he's
I mean, he turned sideways. I couldn't see him.
You know who he reminded me of? Now we talk about. Have you seen anything of him?
I have.
He reminded
I've watched
me,
all those guys.
He reminded me of Mozgov and Kostas Koufos.
Well,
because he's got range and
would he?
everything.
Then you're talking about backup centers. Unless you're playing with LeBron James, and then you can be a starting center.
Well, I'm just saying that. When I click it, there'd be, depending on who got the first round draft pick, the first overall draft pick, there'd be a different guy 4 or 5 of the times.
Yeah.
But who is it, Stanley Johnson out of Arizona?
Don't like him. Don't
don't
take
either.
him. Don't
I don't
like
either.
him. Don't take him.
Winslow.
Like him.
Game changer? Franchise changer?
D'Angelo Russell might be
He's not going to be
out of
there.
Ohio State. Probably won't be
He
there.
keeps going higher and higher. He's going to go 4th, 5th at the worst. So they've got to, and we should. Why you were having problems explaining it is they could end up with the first pick. They can't get the second pick. I never can figure that out. You can't, if you are the worst team in the league, you can't go lower than 4th. So they could get first, second, or third pick.
Yes.
But you can't get the 4th pick.
Right.
So they can't move really anywhere but first, second, or third.
That'd be okay. First segment brought to you by the Harmony Foundation, Colorado's premier treatment program for drug and alcohol addiction. It's located just outside of Estes Park. Very nice, private, 45-acre mountain campus. It is insurance friendly, so if you feel the need, visit harmonyfoundationinc.com. There's a guy you didn't mention, who I mentioned a month and a half ago during the NCAA tournament.
I got Muade, and you got.
I had Willie Cauley-Stein. I saw the Nuggets ending up in the 6, 7, or 8 spot, and I thought that there was a chance that the Kentucky center, Willie Cauley-Stein, would drop to that spot. I'd be very happy to get him. I'll tell you who else would be happy to have him, a guy whose judgment I respect a lot, and that's Larry Bird. I mean, Willie Cauley-Stein met with Larry Bird at the Combine last week and claims that Larry Bird told him, "You, son, are going to be a $100 million player," which means Larry Bird believes Willie Cauley-Stein is going to be a star. I think Willie Cauley-Stein is going to be a star just via his defensive prowess. This kid is going to be a game changer, at least on the defensive end of the court. And I don't care if he only scores you 8 to 10 points a game, and I don't care if they're all garbage baskets, if they're all putbacks, if they're all tip-ins. I don't care if he can block 2, 3, 4 shots a game, and he can change 3, 4, 5 shots a game because of his length, because of his ability to play D. That's a game changer to me.
Are you saying he's a poor man's Dikembe Mutombo?
No,
Mutombo was a 12, 13 point a game
I'm saying
guy.
he's more of a Mutombo, not a poor man's. He's more of a Mutombo.
JaVale McGee?
Wait. I want to know what this meant. What did that mean?
Well,
No.
how many Mutombos come along, really? How many great defensive centers
not
are
many,
there?
but they do. They do periodically. And I think this
I
kid,
was sighing before I spoke because
I think he's more athletic than Mutombo.
I don't think he's got any offensive game whatsoever.
Neither did Mutombo. Really, Dikembe had nothing on the offensive end. He did exactly what I just said. Garbage baskets. But there were 8 to 10 points worth every game. I'll take that. I'll take it every time. Especially, and
Okay,
look, we
fine.
just went through a thing with Brian Shaw, Woody, where Brian Shaw emphasized that you need to play better defense to go far in the playoffs. Willie Cauley-Stein can help you play better defense. Plus, he can
so
run the floor. He's very
I
athletic.
repeat what I said earlier. In looking at him, he's got the body structure of JaVale McGee.
Okay.
He has got about the same height as JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee blocked 2 or 3 shots a game. He could only score on putbacks or right at the basket. What if that's what you get? Is that what you want?
Well, you're always going to take that risk with anybody. I mean,
why would you
JaVale
take-
McGee couldn't stay
No.
healthy, Wood. First of all, JaVale McGee had 2 things working against him. Number one, he's a nutcase, all right? A nutcase. And as an addendum to that, his mom is a nutcase, and that didn't help JaVale become anything more than a nutcase. And number 2, he couldn't stay healthy. I don't see those problems with Willie Cauley-Stein.
How do you know?
Not
whether
yet.
he could-
Not
how
yet.
How can you know whether
Well,
he's
Wood,
staying
it's
healthy
all
or
a
not?
projection.
Well, I know.
Isn't it?
No.
No?
Muad'Dib is going to be a all-pro.
You're projecting.
No, I'm not. I know he's going to be. When Allen Iverson came out, didn't you think he was going to be a great guard?
If he could stay out of jail.
I saw this kid out of Texas in his first conference game, and I went, this guy's going to be a great pro player.
Yeah.
And he had the lousiest body I've ever seen in my life.
Well, you think Moutier is going to be a great offensive player, a great NBA player?
I talked to in college. She had a worse body than he did.
You think Moutier is going to be a great player? I do too. But I also think that Willie Cauley-Stein is going to be an impact player in the NBA. He will be Mutombo-like. He will not be JaVale McGee-like. God, I hope not. No matter who he plays for, I hope not.
But I can sit here and project that Okafor is going to be a very good pro player.
And why can you project that, but we don't know about Willie Cauley-Stein?
Well, because I covered pro basketball for 40-something years, and you're not old enough to have covered
Right,
basketball.
I'm not old enough. Thank you
I
for
can
that.
see players. I'm a player evaluator.
And I am too.
I've looked at these guys. I feel like those draft nicks. I'm looking at all these YouTubes of these players. What I usually see from the European players is they're dunking. You don't see much else. I mean, you've looked at them. The 2 guys
And
from
three-point
Europe.
shot. Dunking and
Yeah.
three-point. Every
Boy.
7-footer in the European leagues, they could shoot the three-pointer.
Yeah. So you would hope one of them would
Yeah.
be the next Nowitzki.
Yeah, but a lot of them aren't terribly athletic, and a lot of them can't take the physical pounding. This portion of the big stuff, presented by the Celtic Tavern, the official sponsor of the Colorado Rapids. The Celtic provides a bus to every Colorado Rapids home game, so join all your soccer-loving buddies, tailgate 2 hours before kickoff, and go to the Celtic Tavern. It's just 2 blocks west of Coors Field.